All right, y'all, it's BRY in the morning, man. We got some special guests in the building. Without further ado, please welcome Twin Kingz one time.
Here, yes, sir. Hear ye, Twin Kingz in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome into BRY in the morning, man. How you guys feeling on the day?
Hey, man, we love it, man. Today's the day. It's a new day. You know what I'm saying? God got us, man. It's beautiful.
Absolutely, man. Cause listen, these two gentlemen right here. What's so funny is Twin Kings. They're literally twins. That's a very ironic part.
Breaking the matrix a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So tell us, tell us how you gentlemen had kind of started pushing your way into the music industry.
This motherfucker. But can we curse on this on your platform?
Yeah. You good?
So
you straight?
It was this motherfucker. What happened? So, so early on, we always was writers. We've been writing since we was 9. We actually recorded a lot when we was about starting off like 14, 15, 16. We've been in the studios writing, recording records, or whatever. But we never put anything out. We just was like what you call living room rappers, which you're gonna learn why it pissed me off later on, right? So fast forward, we went through a lot of trials and tribulations, rough upbringing, and it led us actually to split ways because we both decided to join the Army. He went to North Carolina, I went to Alaska. We actually went to war around the same time, just 2 different regions of Afghanistan or whatever, and then I actually stayed in the service. He got medically discharged because he got blown up, and he got blown up twice. And then I actually stayed in the service, continued on whatever, about just shy of 9 years. And I finally decided to get out the service. But during that whole period, we were still writing. He was still hitting me up, writing records and coming up with ideas and stuff like that. But we just, like I said, never put anything out. Yeah. And then in 2019, when I finally got out the service and I'm good, I got my shit together, whatever. He actually hits me up, and I let him tell his side of the story, how he convinced me to jump back in the arena. So I'm sitting down. I got my little brother at the time. He's sitting there experimenting, making beats and stuff like that. And he came across my hard drive, and I remember I sat down. I had my little drink or whatever, my smoke, and watching the game. And then he put on the Bluetooth speaker and just started playing my old records. He was like, "Yo, this shit fire. Yo, this shit is tough. This shit is hot." Da da da. Yeah. I'm like, he's like, "What you gonna do with this?" I'm like, I don't know, man. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "No." He said, "I'll make you a whole album's worth of beats if you just fucking put this shit out." I was like, all right, let's see what I can do. So he played me like 2 beats, and I was like, "Oh, that shit's hot." I was like, "Oh, okay, I can fuck with this." I was like, "Damn, you gotta tell." He said, "Yeah, man, I'll make a whole album worth of this for you." Da da da.
Wow.
So I called my twin. I was like, "Yo, twin, da da da. Let's just release a tape." Yeah. He was like, "For what?" Yes, for why? That's what he said. For what? He's like, "For what, bro? I already got my crib. I'm comfy. Yeah. I got my 9 to 5. I'm comfy. I'm in a good space." So
he said he leveled. Yeah, he leveled. He good.
Bro, he's like, "What the fuck you gonna do? Make millions on this shit?" I'm like, "Of course." But he was like, "Bro, I'm already good." So I said, okay, the money route, not gonna convince him because we're both in very good places in life and stuff like that. So we're not really stressing about shit like that. So he was like, "Bro, you're asking me to lose money." I said, look, at the end of the day, if you settle with just being the greatest living room rapper that ever was, I'm cool with that. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. So I told him, I said, "Look, if you come up with something that nobody's ever done before in the history of hip hop, I'll do it." And he came up with the brilliant ass idea to tell a story with our track titles, each individual subsequent release, telling the story from the beginning to whenever we decide to finish, and as well as the album titles do the same thing. Yeah, so it's telling a double-sided story. So it's telling a double-sided story, and I was like, "Yo, that's fire. I've never heard that before. Fuck it, let's do it." And then here we are. Yep, part of the story.
Man, wow, that's dope.
So for all those that don't know, we'll just tell you just the album names in order. It's albums and EPs and projects. So
Gotcha.
In order of precedence, everything changed when she came. She made Heaven Fall and Froze Summer. It's Funny How Life Is.
Is our last release. It's Funny How Life Is. It's out now. Go check it out. Album's fire. I'm telling you,
that's
For sure, for sure.
That's just the project name. So you can only imagine how the track
individual track titles tell the story too.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Now, y'all's name. Number one, let's start with the name first. The name is, first of all, creative. So, which one of y'all came up with the name?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, because at first it was Kings County Twins, and Twin was like, "Yo, bro, we're much more universal than that. Like, we can't pigeonhole ourselves into one spot. Yeah, we from New York. We also rep the DMV, but you know, you can't."
For real?
Yeah.
What part?
So
we talking about the DMV?
DMV, yeah.
We in Maryland.
Yeah, we in Maryland.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Yo, I got fat. We from Maryland. My
Yeah,
family
let's
got from Maryland. For sure.
Absolutely. So like, you know, so we rep the DMV and we also rep Brooklyn, and people are like, yo, cool. But he was saying like it pigeonholes us into one spot.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, we want to reach, you know, if we're gonna trademark this name and use it as a brand moving forward, we can't keep it under one small umbrella because we're gonna keep ourselves stuck into one spot. And that's just what it is. So I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. So he was just like, yo, we black, we twins, and we Kingz. So he was like, yo, I think I got it.
Yeah. And then pretty much I told him, I said, look, man, I said every known real successful artist always either has 2 syllables or 1 syllable name. And I said, if we have a 3-syllable name, we gotta change this, bro. It's not gonna hit the same.
Yeah.
We don't change it to at least a 2 syllable. So that's why I said Twin Kingz.
Yeah, and I came up with because I'm very big on words and lyrical stuff. So I said, okay, there's no I in team, but there's one I in twin. And I said, you know what? Since there's 2 of us,
let's put 2 eyes.
Put 2 eyes in this and
Put 2 eyes in it.
Spell it in a way so it's like 2 of us win. So it's twin.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 win. So you'd be like 2 win Kingz.
2
so
win. Yeah. Because honestly, before I was looking at the name, I was like, okay, how do you say the name? Twin, 2, W. Like, I got you. I got you, man. I got you. Well, we kicking it with the Twin Kingz right here on BRY in the Morning, and man, I want to talk about your creative process, because when you create music, you know, there's a process that goes to it. You have to think about what you want to, rap about, what you want to create, what you want to, how the sound goes, how the wording is, the lyrics, all that. I just want to know, what are you guys, creative process when it comes to like actually creating music?
Yeah, I mean, our creative process with the music is first, it starts off with the beat. We're 2 artists. A lot of people look at us because we're twins, but we really are like 2 different artists. We both write our own shit. So what happens typically is, which has happened with us in the past, which we've got over that hurdle, which was I sometimes would create a whole fucking song and then he don't like it. You know what I'm saying? or you know what I'm saying? Or be vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But the best way to our creative process now, the reason why we're able to pump out so many records and write so many records really quickly is because first we get the beat, right? The beat, and then whoever comes up with the dopest fucking concept wins. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So if the concept fits the beat, and then it can flip flop whether I write the hook or he write the hook, because there's been plenty of times where I'll write the hook, but he'll come up with a better fucking hook, and I'm like, nah, we got to go with that hook. That hook's fire. And then we always compete when it comes to verses. So I try to smoke him on every fucking record. Good luck. And he tries to do the same thing. So that's really our creative process. Once we get the concept down, the beat down, the hook down, and then it's like, all right, now I ain't telling him nothing. I'm writing my verses, but we in our phones we share the notes of the song. So like with iPhones, you can share notes. So like once we get the hook, once we get the hook layered down, the beat layered down, now all he's gonna see, he ain't gonna hear how I rap it. He ain't gonna all he gonna see is these words and these metaphors coming across this page, and he gonna be reading it like, oh, that's fine, I gotta come harder. And then we compete that way, and then once we get together like this and we just start rapping together, and it shit just comes alive, man.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like, getting the timing. So like most of the time when we get a beat, we all like, once we both say, all right, this is the beat, we both like the beat, you know,
Yeah.
we time the beat because every beat has different. It has 16 or it has 21. It could have whatever. It could just be a beat with just verses and no hook. Like it's just depending on like how you time out the beat and you work on the structure of it, right?
Right.
And me and him since the very beginning we've been topic driven. So you'll never hear us jump on a song and then we'll talk and the song will be about let's just say the song could be about shaking ass. We're not gonna be on shaking. We're not gonna be on a record called Shaking Ass and then
Try to be
philosophical,
philosophical.
or talk about political shit. We don't do that. So like we stay within the topic of what we're talking about. And normal times we try to find topics that are layered so that we're able to not only use metaphors but all the poetic elements while we write.
And
so
break
many
it down,
people and break it down. So like we don't write to be just heard. Like writing to just be heard is one thing, but we write to be studied.
Yeah.
So like if you say, "Oh, I heard your song Double Entendre," oh, tell me all the double entendres that you heard.
Right.
I might be going back and forth with that, or I might have used a hyperbole, or I might have used a freaking a metaphor, I might have used a triple entendre, or I might have used personification, whatever it is. Like we write to be like that. So
and then the last part of the process for us is studio. So
that's
when we go to the studio, it's fucking hilarious because our engineer and our beloved producer Davo, he has found a way to really fuck with us heavy because we don't waste no time in the studio. We already come there with 5, 6, 7 tracks already written, ready to go. So it's like as soon as he turned the beat on, press record, we already this the first verse. This the second. Right,
I got that hustle.
So we pumping out.
Yeah,
we pump out like about every time we do a studio session, we pump out like 7, maybe 6, 7 hour block, and then we record 5, 6, 7 records immediately.
Yeah, because like most of the time, a lot of artists nowadays they'll get into a situation where they'll go to the studio and write. And
they won't go to the studio. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of money. If you go to the studio. So if you go into the studio to write and find your process and be with a bunch of bitches and niggas smoking and you wasting your fucking time, you wasting your money really if you go in there to try to put together shit when you could have put that shit together before you got there and get your money's worth. That's what we do. We go to the studio with all this shit ready to go. So that's what we do.
I respect that.
Me too. I respect that a lot. Now, since you guys are a rap twin duo, so how do you guys complement each other's styles and strengths in your music?
Yeah,
we're double-sided. So if you listen to our projects, the very first project that we put out was a very a hip-hop driven a project. The second project that we put out was more rap and rap heavy. And then we flip-flop. So we normally just flip-flop. So if you know that
why we flip-flop? We flip-flop because I'm the rap guy. Right? He's the old school hip hop guy. So we find that duality between each other. So I'm like, hey, this project gonna be geared towards this project gonna be geared towards that, and we competitively try to beat each other with those drivens. That's pretty much how Twins trying to explain it.
For sure.
When it comes to that. And as far as like competition, that's what we do. Like we compete all day.
I can't have him outright me on some shit.
Yeah,
that's not. Fuck that.
Yeah, every time we got to compete. So
100%.
Right. Now, can you share like one memorable moment or experience that you've had while performing together, whether if it's in the studio, on stage?
Yeah.
I'll give you one, and I'll let him give you one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sure.
All right, so my most memorable moment with him was when we was actually on stage in Chicago, and I remember his mic. There was something up with his mic, and I remember the look he gave me because we did a whole sound check. We did a whole sound check. Everything was working beautifully. The DJ was running it. Everything was good. And I remember he gave me that look like, yo, what the... While he's rapping, he gave me that look. I knew. He was like, yo, what the fuck is up with my mic? So I then knew how to help him, get his shit. And we tried to switch the mic during the performance, but we didn't want to make it seem all weird or whatever. So I just got closer to him so he could get closer to the mic. So it was a funny ass moment, but that's a memorable moment for like my personal memorable moment because it was like
that was recent. That was recent too. That's
the faceless question was fucking hilarious. I don't know if anybody caught that. But that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, and I also hate that shit, bro. And it's the one thing you be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do this show out here, blah blah blah, and you go do the sound check. You know what I'm saying? Before everybody starts getting in, you do the sound check, and you know everything is good, and then halfway through, I'm over here looking back at the DJ like, turn the fucking lyrics on.
Yeah,
turn the fucking lyrics on now.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, yo,
this mic is ass.
Right.
But no, one of my most memorable moments was probably during the very early stages. We was in middle school. And we did this Christmas show out in Baltimore at the school called Chickapin.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, the school people was like, oh, y'all rap this, that, and third. Oh, everybody's talking about you guys. Whoa. And he's like, yo, we want you to do this Christmas show. So we was like, all right, cool. So my man DJ Waters gets a joint. But we didn't have no speakers like that. And the sound check sucked. So we was like, all right, well, we can't, we got to just improvise. So I went in there and I did a very, like chill, lackadaisical, like let me get you guys like just to listen to and vibe out, right? And then immediately we just cut the beat immediately, like cut it, and then my brother comes in with my man's Waters. He's how like back in the day we used to tap your the pencils on the table. At the edge of the stage, he puts the mic down and starts beating on the thing.
Yeah.
You hear him come out, and I come out of nowhere.
I come out of random and I start rapping to it.
Everybody, we did that probably like what, four
we did it twice. It was twice.
2 shows.
Yeah.
Did 2 shows, and I'm talking about every single time the whole school erupted. Everybody's like, oh,
that was crazy. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I was
man, that's tight, man. That's tight.
We're gonna bring that back one day. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully we
for
can
sure. Please do, because that's dope. Because that remind me of like what they do on Wild 'N Out with they kick him out the classroom and they be having the pencil on the desk.
Yeah, and I was floating on it.
He was floating on
I came out of nobody was expecting to do that.
Yeah, so I played like Christmas. Like I basically did like it was a Christmas show. So I basically had some Christmas bars or whatever on a smooth beat. So everybody's like, oh, they're gonna lull us to sleep. Okay, cool. And then everything just stopped and abrupt. They're like, oh, what happened? Oh, everybody's like looking like, oh, they stopped. Oh, they're done. Oh, that was trash. Oh, they're getting ready to boo. But my man Waters is sitting down and they're like,
and everybody's like this.
Like, oh shit.
And then I come out rapping to it.
They lost it. They was like, that shit was fire.
Say the day, man. I felt. Well, we're still kicking it with Twin Kingz right here on BRY in the Morning. So listen, I gotta ask you this, man. As you guys know, we just celebrated like the 50th anniversary of hip hop, right? I want to ask this question to y'all, man. Well, 2 questions actually. My first one is looking at how hip hop was created. What can you say was your impact in hip hop, and how can you continue the legacy of hip hop 50 more years?
I mean, yeah, that's a great question. I think the 50 years of hip hop, God willing, we get 1,000 more years.
For sure.
I just want to say that first, and then second of all, I would say our impact in that is literally what we're trying to accomplish. We're not sitting here trying to be the most famous of all time or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Our contribution is to bring back the poetic elements into hip hop. The not just releasing a track list. And then only thing you're looking on there is to see who's featured,
and how long
the album is, or how long the project is going to be. We wanted to bring creativity back to hip hop because, you hear a lot of the older heads that say, "Oh man, there's no creativity in the albums no more." There's nothing, what I'm saying? You hear a lot of that, and we're trying to break that culture. Except you'll break that back into hip hop, where albums was fun to listen to.
Just releasing the cover art was enough to spark interest, or releasing the track titles where it's like, this is a continuation to what I already like about this artist already. What is he talking about on this project? Where is he going with it? Like that type of like creativity where you build that connection with the listeners. So it's like, okay, you heard this song from me, but what did you get from it? Like we don't want to just write a song because, oh my god, like I understand like the culture now is just write what you feel, right? But
Yeah.
we're trying to say like, nah, we also want to make you think. Just like how Kendrick is like, now everybody's trying to dissect this beef. Like, let me go line by line.
Oh yeah.
We used to do
Right.
that.
That's what we
And
do.
we're trying to keep that part alive.
Yeah, that's what
whether
we're
you're
doing
in a
it for.
rap beef or you're just
Yeah,
listening to music. We're trying to keep that part alive where you're like, no, I want to listen to this song and break down the bars.
Yeah, that's what
You
we
know,
do.
yeah.
We do it.
For
We
sure.
do it to be studied. We do it
Yeah.
to be dissected for people to really be like, oh wow, that's crazy. Because if you think about our name being creative, you can only imagine about the track titles being creative. Then you think about the damn
Exactly.
album names being creative.
Right.
It's a layer
Yeah.
upon layer upon layer. And then
right.
when you go into the actual lyrics of the individual songs, you can be like, hold up, these motherfuckers is different.
Right.
Like that's what we
Right.
that's what we're doing it for. So
Yeah, it's dope because like you grow up and we grew up listening to people like Ransom, Joe Budden, all these different people.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, I can't just say something one way. I have to say something that's layered, right?
Yeah.
So even
Yeah.
one of my favorite lines was on the Afro Summer a joint called "Or Chillin'."
that was my favorite.
Yeah, like one of my favorite lines I wrote. Like
That line was crazy.
yeah, like you know
So
what I'm saying.
the line was, I told him to it when he rapped it. I literally jumped. He had to stop. And I was like, yo, that's fucking good.
Yeah.
So the bar he said was, a boss bitch with ego for sale. Leave your paperwork at work. Learn to address your mail.
Ooh. Ooh.
I was like, that's a bar. Oh my god. I was like,
Yeah,
bro,
that
what
shit's
the
different.
fuck? Oh, that was a bar.
It stopped the studio session for sure.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's a bar. I had to take a smoke
Yeah.
break
Because
after that one.
it's layered within itself. It's super layered. So it's like one of those things that's like, oh shit, like oh he said what, So
Yeah.
like we
Fun times.
live for moments like that.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
important.
That is important. That's not even related. This is not even related to the rap, category. But I just need to ask y'all this question. Like, is there any when y'all are like rapping? Well, I guess it is related to rap. When y'all are rapping, when y'all writing, is there any type of twin telepathy going on?
Fuck
You know?
yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever heard this song? Stay Dangerous?
Yeah.
We're going back and forth on
Literally.
it, right? And literally, that was the first time we've ever written something in 20 minutes together.
Literally.
Back we
Wow.
wrote that in 20. Like when I mean by connected, the moment he finished
Yeah.
the bar, I was already on it. He
Yep.
finished the bar. I finished the bar, and the moment I finished the bar, he's like, "Oh, I didn't know what to say." It was like we finished that 20
Yeah.
minutes quickly,
It was fire.
like
That shit
quickly.
Wow.
That was the quick.
Yeah.
And the producer that sent it to us was like, "Yo, I ain't even envisioned
What the fuck y'all about to do on this?
shit like that."
Right.
And then we was like literally finishing. We was damn near finishing each other's lines. Like it was crazy. Like,
Because a lot of people don't even know that we do that a lot. Like,
Yeah,
for
we go back
people,
and
like,
forth.
especially like if somebody says, "Oh, I want a feature," you be like,
Yeah.
"All right, cool." Depending on what you pay for that feature price, we'll be like, "All right, well, if you want one verse, then we're splitting that verse up regardless. Either
Yeah.
we'll do 2 halves, or we'll say, let's just go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
So it just
For
depends.
sure.
So we always do that, because if you're gonna pay for 2 verses, then it's a different
It's
price.
different. I'll give you my verse. He give you his
Yeah,
verse. But
but-
if you say, "Hey, I just want the Twin Kings on this song," we're gonna split that verse.
Yeah,
and
we
we're
go
gonna
back and
cook that motherfucker every
Hell
time.
yeah, every time. Ask T-Wits about that.
We did a song with T-Wits, and we did
called Kingz and
it's
Priests.
called Kings and Priests. And me and Twin was going back and forth on that one. That record was fire too.
Bullshit that.
That record was fire.
That was fun. That was a fun record to do.
was a lot- that was a
Beat
lot
was
of fun.
infectious.
It was a lot of fun to write that one.
For sure. I want to know what y'all inspiration like when you come in and when you like even when you start writing to the part where you're mixing in the studio. What's that inspiration? What keep you going? Because y'all gotta understand, y'all twins, and at the same time, y'all have everybody in your mind. Got the listeners, the producer, the engineer, everybody in between. What is the inspiration that tells you guys, "Hey, yo, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna, keep the energy." What's that? What's the inspiration?
So that's a great question. It's two things.
Uh-huh.
One,
Okay.
I'm competing with this motherfucker all the time. So I'm telling you, right, inspiration number one, competition.
Facts.
I'm trying to smoke him on this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Every time. You know what I'm saying?
For
He's trying to
sure.
do the same thing. That's the
Even,
number one
even if it's a
motivation.
girl record, he's
It
like,
don't
nah,
matter.
I'm
I'm
putting.
putting some bars in it. I'm gonna try to smoke you on this girl record. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So just keep the level of competition. You already know I'm not playing, right?
Like he's trying to say some shit that's gonna make me be like, all right, you
That was
got
fine.
you got
Yeah.
this.
So
Yeah.
And number two is the promise I made to him. When we first started in 2019, I told him we're gonna do something nobody's ever done before. And then I kind of shot for the moon. Him kind of biting my words, but I told him I was gonna give him 100 records. So I said I'll give you 100 records, and then at that point I get to call quits if I feel like calling quits, or I can just let them know, hey, we can continue or not continue. I got that option. So in between that
I doubt it because I'm gonna egg him on anyway.
He probably might egg me on. He might. But right now we we are halfway through, ain't we?
Yeah,
we about halfway through now.
We're just over halfway.
Just over the halfway point now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we got about. I think we got about like what 60 records out. I think now
60. Yeah.
Oh, 60 records now.
Well, 56. Wow. We got 4 skits.
Oh yeah. 50, so we got 56 records because we're not counting features
or skits.
True.
Yeah, so the features will not count. So
yeah, no features, no skits is not being counted. We're talking about 100
actual songs.
100 records.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because towards just before the ending point, we're probably gonna re-release a lot of them and take all the curses out. That's a whole nother separate.
That's a whole other separate thing we doing. Yeah. But we're gonna release it all clean. Well, right now releasing it all dirty, and then we'll release it all clean.
Clean.
And then work it that way.
For sure.
I released it all on one album.
Yeah, it might just be one whole, the whole story one time.
Crazy, one whole album that's 100 records. They gonna be like, what the
fuck? Hey, that's gonna be tight though. That's gonna be tight.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Do y'all got any rituals or routines that y'all do before going out on stage?
He doesn't drink.
I don't drink.
He don't drink. I'll take a shot.
Yeah, he takes a shot. I don't drink at all. I try to be as sharp as I can on stage. Be on point. I actually don't. I stopped smoking weed. I don't smoke weed no more. So, I try to just keep my mind sharp. So,
part of the routine is just us rehearsing over and over. Because I'll never forget. I'll never forget. We were performing in the fucking strip club. And I saw this fat ass. This bitch walked in the club. That wagon was stupid. Mind you, I'm rapping, and I looked down. I was like, oh shit! I had forgot where I was in the beat and all that. He jumped in, stepped in. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, he got distracted. I had to keep him on point.
That shit was out of pocket.
For sure.
That shit was out of pocket.
She busted wagon. Oh my God.
It's just imagine that. Like you rapping and you like trying to stay on point. Then you look
trying to be like,
hell yeah.
That was crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was fun times.
Man, I got this. I gotta ask you all this, man. As you guys know, everybody gonna try to come to the rap game. They're gonna try to start making music, and us, we're young. I want to know, what advice would you give anybody that would want to enter the rap game and want to make music and be creative?
Before we answer that, in what capacity first? Like, in what capacity are they trying to get into the rap game? Like, as a hip hop or rap artist, or as a producer, or as a DJ? Like, what? There's 5 elements.
Yeah, it's different.
Let me see.
Are you talking like a rapper?
Yeah, you can cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Realize immediately that you're gonna make no money.
Yeah. Don't look for the money.
Immediately, you're not gonna make anything. Like, you're gonna lose far more than you make.
Yeah, you got, especially in the beginning, because I think that's what discourages a lot of artists, like even ourselves. Like, there was even learning curves that we had. Because especially when you make it there's 2 things. When you make a business move, make sure it's on paper. Don't do no verbal agreement. No fuck all that. Write it the fuck down. Hey, sign this. Be good. That's number 1. Number 2, I would say don't look for the money, because being a rapper is the hardest one of them all, because you're the last to get paid. You have to make sure the producer gets his money, because to get the beat, then you got to worry about the studio time that you probably gonna pay for. Then you probably gonna have to worry about if you got a sample clear, you got to worry about sample clearing. Then you got to worry about the distributor, how you gonna distribute this record. Then after they got to pay for distribution, you got to pay for mixing and mastering.
You got to pay for your
pay for your pro. You got to pay for your sound exchange. Like, so there's a lot of money that's gonna get shelled out immediately, right?
Exactly.
But once you have all your ducks lined up in a row, the money will start coming back, trickling, stuff like that. But the biggest money pit that a lot of young artists fail to recognize is marketing, because
you're gonna lose a lot of money in marketing.
You have to spend money to make money, and that's what this climate kind of dwells in. Is you got to spend money to make money, and it's rare.
Right.
Because everybody jumps in this game thinking I could be the next fucking Bobby Shmurda that can drop a fucking unmastered fucking song and it goes fucking number one. Like it's rare. It's not like, oh, I can just do this and it's gonna be catchy and I'm good, right? Nah, you actually got to put some money behind it, get the people behind it, put the engine behind it, et cetera. So
and then the engineer, number one thing, the two things that you absolutely fucking need. I understand if you record in your house or whatever the case may be, you mixing in your own shit. I hear you. Find the most. Your everything revolves on your artistry around finding the right engineer. Yeah. Right. And find the right engineer and find a producer to work with and work together to build and get to a place. Yeah. You know, and create a sound with those two people. Yep. Those two people is who you are as an artist, because they're gonna maximize and bring out whatever you want to sound like. If you want to ride the wave of everybody else that's doing freaking auto tune and stuff like that, do it. But you're gonna sound like everybody else. But if you want to say, you know what, I want to have my own voice on this record, and I want to have a flow and a sound that nobody else is doing, and I want it to be authentically me. You're gonna have to double down on finding a really good engineer and a really good producer. Yeah,
I second that. You really have to find a producer and build a sound, because a lot of young artists, we run into them all the time, man. These guys, some of these guys are all over the place. They'll have a drill beat one time, then they'll go and get a trap beat, then they'll go back to drill. It's like, you can't. It's cool to be all over the place. It's cool to experiment, but try to build a sound that people know you for. Like if you notice, the more you listen to our music, you'll start to really hear the difference between how I rap and how he raps. Right. No matter what record we're on, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that. That's the other twin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know this is the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the other one. You know what I mean? So you'll start to really tell the difference the more you listen to us. And then now we got a big difference. Now he just locked his hair, so he's gonna have locks. I'm not. I don't plan on locks.
And it's funny too. And we'll disclose that here in regards to the individual names, is people that always wonder, like, what do we call you? How do we say twin? It's Prophecy Twin, and it's Mad King. Yeah.
Prophecy.
But because we've trademarked Twin Kings, that's just what we go by. We're Twin Kings.
Be the same shit.
We do the same shit, different toilet.
Twin Kings.
Don't forget the flush.
All right. For sure. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, y'all give it up for Twin Kings one time. Definitely appreciate you so much for tapping in. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Oh yeah, man. You can find us at twinkingz.com. We have our own website. Yeah. That's 2WIINKINGZ.com. Or you can find us on IG, which is Twin Kingz, 2WIIN_Kings. That's our IG page. You can pretty much find us on all streaming platforms. On Google, we own the domain. You can find us everywhere. So you type in our name, how you see it's written, you'll find us for sure. Absolutely. You can Google us. Your name will pop up.
Definitely go check out the website. We got a whole bunch of stuff on there. Like, if you definitely want to,
dive a little bit deeper into what
and learn more about who we work with, how we come about certain things. You could definitely look into that, because just on the website alone, we got unreleased music. If you just hit the player, stuff that we haven't released anywhere else, as well as if you want to hear like our Trip Through Time mixtape, which is from the very first song that we recorded all the way up to like 2019 when we released our first project.
What was the first one? 07? I think it was. 08?
05.
05. Yeah. 05. Wow. So we got stuff.
Boomerang came out. Yeah, Boomerang.
05. That is wild, because I was like, I'm born 04, 05. Like, wow, that's like 20 something years ago. Wow.
We've been at this for quite some time.
We've been doing this for a little minute, man, for sure.
For sure. Y'all be sure to go hit up the website, the number 2 WIINKINGZ.com. Twin Kingz. All right.
Yep.
Be sure to tap in. Hey, that's Twin Kingz on BRY in the morning. Y'all give it up one time.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you so much for coming through. More BRY in the morning coming up after this.
BRY in the morning, yeah, we coming hot. We in this bitch, yes, we lighting the block.